ladies, welcome to my channel. My name is Staci-Ann Smiles, and today is Phenomenal Woman Wednesday. On my channel is where you'll get your midweek motivational uplift based in biblical truth. And today I'm really excited about this video. Why? Because it's about all my queens. If you are a wife, I consider you to be a queen. And this video is for you. Now, don't get me wrong, singles, all my single ladies out there, I also consider you to be a queen, and this video is for you. If you hope to one day have a husband, if you are dating or engaged, this video is also for you if you hope to one day be married. Now, if you're in a situationship, I pray that you figure out your situation and that one day you will be married or have a husband. This video is also for you. Now, today's video is titled KingMaker. For all my queens, this video is titled KingMaker, and it's based on the biblical truth found in Proverbs 12:4, which reads, "A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones." A wife of noble character is her husband's crown, but a disgraceful wife is like decay in his bones. She rottens his bones. Now today, I want to highlight the power that we have as wives. I want us to really gain a better understanding of how effective we are in the lives of our husbands. God has created us wives to be helpmates. He has created us as helpers to help our husbands to walk fully into the calling which he has called them to walk fully into their purpose. Our duty as wives is to draw the king out of our husbands. We have to see the king in them, and we have to draw the king out of them. That's what God has created us to do as wives. That's what he has created us to do. The scripture says a wife of noble character is her husband's crown. So in other words, our character is what creates the crown that they wear. Our character. Noble character meaning a woman of integrity, a woman who is kind, who is gentle, who is bold, who is courageous, who is honest, who is respectful. A woman with noble character. Now, a woman has to understand how vital she is in the life of her husband. Women, we make them look good. In other words, we make them look good. When we crown them with our character, we make them look good. And every man wants to be seen as a king. Just how we as women want to be seen as queens and treated like queens, every man wants to be seen as a king and treated and respected as a king. And we have the power to do that. We as wives have the power to do that. We as wives have the power to build them up or tear them down. We as wives have the power to see the best in them and invest in that, breathe life into them, or suffocate them. We as women, the effect that we have on our husbands can either push them towards their purpose or cripple them and cripple their lives. That's how effective we are in the lives of our husbands. That's how effective we are. And so we have to really understand and be mindful of our characteristics. We have to understand how we are portraying and reflecting on our husbands. We should want to crown our husbands, because when they go out into the world each and every day, they face so much. As men, they face so much. They have to deal with so much. They have to put on such a front at times just to go out into the world every single day. So when they come home, they want to feel like kings. When they're with their wives, they want to feel like kings. As queens, we should want to crown our husbands with honor, with authority, and with power. We should want to crown them and make them feel like the kings that they are. And the only way to do so is to understand the power that we have as wives and who we truly are. And that understanding comes with knowing that we are daughters of the King. We are daughters of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And that means that we are royalty. We are royalty, ladies. That's a whole nother class by itself. When we understand that we are royalty, we carry ourselves differently. We speak differently. We walk differently. We address our husbands differently. We address ourselves differently because we're royalty. We're royalty. And royalty lives by standards, by principles. And if our duty is to draw the king out of our husbands, we need to live by certain principles and standards. And the first standard that we should live by in order to draw the king out of our husbands is trust. Is a standard of trust. Proverbs 31:11 says, the heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. As wives, we have to create a safe haven for our husbands. When they come home, they want to take off their cape. They want to take the S off their chest, and they just want to be themselves. We have to create that space where they don't feel like they have to be on guard. We have to create that space where they feel like they can just relax and breathe when they come home, where they have a space to rest their head and just be comfortable. They have to trust in us that at their weakest, we're not going to beat on them. When they're down low, we're not going to step on them. They can trust that when they tell us their secrets, that we're not going to throw them back in their face in the heat of an argument. They can trust that we're going to love them even when they're not at their best, even when they don't feel like they're certain of where they are, where they're going, that we're going to love them. They have to trust us as wives to be that one person that holds them down when everyone else turns their back. Yeah, trust. The first standard is trust. We have to create that safe haven for their hearts to feel safe in our hands as queens. The second standard that we as wives should live by is respect. Ephesians 5:33 says, the end of the verse says, the wife must respect her husband. The wife must respect her husband. Now, when I believe firmly that the love language of a man is respect, because when he feels respected, he feels loved. When he feels respected, he feels valued. When he feels respected, he feels honored. When he feels respected, he feels like he's a treasure to whoever is respecting him. But the moment your husband feels disrespected, he no longer feels like a king. The moment he feels disrespected, he does not feel loved or honored or cherished or valued. If you curse him out in the middle of the street in front of everybody, that's disrespecting your husband. If you even cuss him out in your own home, that's disrespecting your husband. If you belittle him and his manhood, that's disrespecting your husband. If you talk about him to your friends, to your mother, when he does something wrong, that's disrespecting your husband. And guess what? That's diminishing the king in him. That's not drawing it out. That's suppressing it. He's now has to suppress the king in him because he doesn't feel like he's respected, particularly in his own home. We can't do that as queens because we're royalty and we live by certain standards. We need to respect our husbands, women. And the last standard that I want to talk about today is submission. Now, I know a lot of people thought I just said a curse word, but I did not. Submission is not a bad word, women. Submission is not a bad word at all. Ephesians 5:22 says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. I firmly believe that when we submit ourselves to our husbands as unto the Lord, we are partnering with God to see the king in our husbands come forth. We are partnering with God to see the king in our husbands come forth. Submission does not mean I take off my crown and I put it down. Submission means I'm actually putting my crown on. I'm straightening it. And I'm partnering with my husband. I'm partnering with God to see the king in my husband come forth. Submission means I'm aligning myself to make sure that our purposes are fulfilled. That means we are on the same team. That means we're going to work together. We are partners in this. It does not mean that I degrade myself. It does not mean that my crown no longer holds any power or my queenship no longer holds any power. It means that you are a king and I'm a queen and we're going to reign together. That's what that means. Submission is not degrading who you are at all, women, but it means that I am committed to seeing the king in you come out, and we are going to fulfill this purpose together. We are going to press forth together. And when you have that understanding, the world will change. It's if we as wives all commit to creating a space of trust, if we commit to respecting our own husbands, if we commit to submitting to them as unto the Lord, everything will change. This entire world will change. You will see kings and queens reigning in their rightful places to fulfill purpose and to honor God as he has called us to do. We have a duty as wives, and don't get me wrong, women, men have a huge duty to us. Our husbands have a huge responsibility to fulfill when it comes on to their wives. But I want us as wives to understand who we are and the power that we hold in their lives, the effect that we have on them, how our character can either crown them or rotten them. Our character has the power to crown them or rotten them. And we choose. We choose if we want to see the king in our husbands come out or if we want to see them die. We choose as wives. And I'm committed to see the king in my husband come out. I don't know about you, but I am committed to see the king and my husband come out. And I pray that you are too. So we have to create that space of trust. We have to respect them. And we have to submit to them as unto the Lord. Ladies, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I pray that this video was a blessing for you. And I pray that you were able to glean from it. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. You can reach me on social media, Facebook at Staci-Ann Smiles and Instagram at Staci-Ann_Smiles. And we can do this thing, ladies. I love you. Until next week.